Welcome to the lighter side with me, Danu. Today I have a person who is simply lovable, I could put it that way. Her profession took a back seat and her passion took the main seat. I'm happy to have Varuni with me. Hello.
Hi, Danu.
So for me, Varuni has been someone who I've been introduced to twice. You actually have a very warm personality. It takes a lot for me to talk about all the things that we are talking about off mic.
Yeah, you better not.
Yes.
Because people listening might get pregnant.
Okay, to start things off, you run a very successful ad agency, and selling something to someone is the hardest thing. I've tried. Sell me. It's not working, I'm still single. But what would you say is the passion for advertising that you have?
I think to begin with, when you said I have a successful advertising agency, I think that's where everything begins. It's we. There's a whole team of people who work together. I think that is a success of this company or the team. And the most important thing is when you're trying to sell something or when you're trying to communicate something, you need to be invited into somebody's mind. Now, if you go in by force, for example, nobody is willing to receive that message. But if you talk the language they want, or if you make a promise that they are willing to listen to or waiting to listen to, then they will willingly accept. So that is where creativity comes in. And if this creativity is coupled or based on an insight, most often a local insight that our customers are accustomed to or understand, then that message becomes well received. They're happy to receive it.
That is true. You know, there's always this thing where a lot of people feel that Sri Lankans always want something so not related to our country. They want to feel lavish, they want to feel big, whereas we are the type who will use IO for the most a cut on the leg, or to a point where we're celebrating one of the biggest cricket matches ever. How do you find that balance to make them feel Sri Lankan even when they're putting out something in our common language?
Most important thing is the upbringing, Danu. I think it happens at home, schools, yes, but mostly home. If the parents give them that feeling, tell them that we have to love the country we live in and all the good things about the country, the value of a family, all of that. So they grow up in that environment where they begin to appreciate what they have rather than griping about what they don't have. So that is where everything begins. But I honestly believe that the young generation of today, they are global locals. No longer are we locals. So it is very important that we cater to that mindset.
And mix and match the character.
Exactly, and then if we understand the psyche of these young people, it's easy to talk that language.
That's true. You're talking about family, and one of the key things is how she told me about how she hero worships her dad. And it's a huge thing, because I think we're one of those nations that really appreciate our family, and it's a rare quality, I would say, and it's a quality that takes you to heaven, in my opinion. And tell me about your dad's influence in your life.
Actually, the way we started talking about it is because I had read about how you had written about your mother, and I was so moved when I read your post. In that same way, yes, when you spoke about me and my father, I have that same kind of feeling, because I think it is because of the way he loves me. And there was one thing which he used to always tell me. He says that a lot of parents try to discipline their children about saying, okay, this is how you do things, this is what's right, what's wrong. But what he used to always say is, you must demonstrate your affection. If you don't hug your children, kiss them and pet them and all of that, how on earth will that child know that he or she is cared for? So that demonstration is the most important thing, which my father really, freely gave my sister and I. And also another very important thing is, he said everything is possible. Whatever we set our hearts and minds to is possible to achieve. And another very, very important thing, Danu, which I always recollect and I try to share, especially with the young people, he used to always say, be grateful. And for that we are blessed with 4 very important things. Every morning when we wake up, think about the fact that we have a roof over our heads. We have a warm meal. We have parents, relations and friends who love us. We are healthy. If you have those 4 things, you have so much to be grateful for. Money and all these other material things can come and go and you can always make that. But if you have those 4 fundamentals, you're really a very rich person. So be happy about it. So if you think like that, your entire day will be positive.
True.
So he was a kind of person who gave that positivity.
And I think it's all just sort of put into you at a very young age, and you literally grow up to be what you're fed.
Exactly.
That is true.
And also, just a side thing from that, you were talking about the family and the Sri Lankan concept of family, because actually if you look at the Asian region, that is why when you compare with the whole world, we are very, very strong because of our family concept, the external family concept. Now, even our company is based on that family concept called API. Everybody is important. So it's like a very family-oriented group.
That is true.
We started with just 3 people, with 0 capital, just dreams and, basically like love
Dreams
and fresh
are the
air.
free things to have.
Exactly. Exactly. But the free years, but most precious in that sense and priceless.
That is true.
But what happened was, although we started like that today, now we are celebrating 25 years, there are 3,500 people, but that culture has remained.
And it has gone into the 3,500 people's
People
lifestyle.
that this API concept is the culture and which is most important.
And when you say API, there's a ownership towards the brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody counts.
Yeah, definitely. The fact that she speaks so well, of course, roots from a very significant place, and that's law. Why did you do law? Because of your father?
He was a great influence for me to pick that particular subject because he felt that one most important thing is that you'll always be employable.
That's true. Anytime you'll never go off the
Second,
shelf.
very important fact was the reason that he didn't do law, so therefore his child should do law.
That's true.
Third thing is I felt, he thought that maybe it's a good profession to be in. So I liked it. I thought, okay, that's a good thing to do.
But
Why
it's good
not?
today. You know when somebody is doing something wrong. At least you know.
No, I wish. Nobody knows,
Yeah,
although
that's
they claim to know. So law was good in terms of a discipline, in terms of studying those 4 years was good and all of that. But halfway through the law degree, that was when we started the advertising company, because even my partner was a batchmate of mine, and we just did it, just for the fun of it, where we wanted to create something and come up with ideas, and it was so much more exciting. We formed this company, and then we felt that we could actually make a difference in people's lives, because when you change somebody's perception,
it has a ripple effect.
Ripple effect, and it can transform the thinking of that one person plus the entire society. So the power of communication really inspired me, and we really didn't think too far about building a business or anything like that. But this whole concept of you creating things, coming up with new ideas which can have an impact on the society, that's what really interested at that time.
What do you hope for 2018?
Oh, happiness. I know, this typical Buddhist thinking and concept is that you will be happy with now, the now moment. All that is true.
Now is 2018. I mean, before you know it, it's going to be there.
But happiness is something, happiness for me, for people around us, the whole country, the world. If everybody's happy in different degrees, in different ways that they want. But I'm hoping for happiness.
So, see, something that's great about the job that God has blessed me with is the fact that you tend to meet so many people randomly, and you don't know what they will become in your life, and you don't know what type of inspiration they'll eventually give you. And that's what happened with Varuni for me, is the fact that on the first day we started talking. It was a lot of fun. There was only laughter and
We were both talking.
Yeah.
There were no listeners.
There was no... Others were observing. But there was so much of warmth about it, and I think that goes a long way. And I asked her to be on this because someone who actually has a lighter side to her, I think it's you. Amongst all, I'm sure paperwork takes your time, corporate meetings takes your time, boardroom sessions do. But beyond all of that, you're a person and you have that side to you. And that's what we wanted to felicitate today, nothing more.
Thank you, Danu.
But thanks for coming, thanks for sharing your little stories with us. But always just make sure that you are a part of my life and inspiring more people like you do.
Thank you very much, and I would want to be a part of your life and all the good things that you're doing. But more than anything else, I'm so happy that you remember your mother with so much of gratitude. Because what a lot of young people don't have today is this thing called gratitude. And without gratitude, you're nothing. And I sense that when you said there was a connection, to me, even before I met you, I knew you. What connected me to you was this, how you felt about your mother. And I thought if a child can feel like that, because I conjured up this whole image of your mother, how she looked after you and everything, that really touched me. So I think I met you even before I met you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Well, it's a wrap on this episode of The Lighter Side with Danu. I'll catch you again with another vibrant person like who she is. Until then, it's a wrap.